Way to go.
10-pin bowling has changed a lot. In the olden days, they had to pick up the pins by hand and use wooden balls with no holes for your fingers.
It's good stuff.
These days, we have trusty robots to do the boring stuff with the pins, and the bowling balls we use are little marvels of sports engineering. But when it comes to designing a new pro super ball that will help you bowl a strike every time, how do they do it? "65 million Americans go bowling every year, and most of them struggle to bowl a strike." The pins are specially placed to make it difficult to knock all 10 down at the same time. As any pro will tell you, to guarantee a strike, a bowler must make the ball curve inwards from the edge of the lane, so that it hits the pins at an angle at a sweet spot between the first and second row. The very best, like pro bowler Jason Wojnar, are able to do this by giving the ball some spin, but this takes years of practice.
It's a lot more angular on the back, a lot more total hook, so I'm very excited.
Still, there's hope for the rest of us. In Hopkinsville, Kentucky, a company called Ebonite is trying to develop a new ball which will have just the right amount of built-in spin. Ball designer Ron Hickland says the secret lies in the design of the ball's central core.
Well, this is what a core looks like. It's a very dense, heavy material, and what it is depending on the shape and the size, it's used to help make the bowling ball hook.
Ron hopes that his new inner core, which is shaped like a spinning top, will make the ball hook in the last quarter of the lane, hitting the sweet spot at the perfect angle.
The computer can give me some properties, it can give me some numbers that I can calculate, get a rough idea, but actually how it's going to perform, I've got to take the core, put the shell on it, and go test it.
So, down on the factory floor, they start work on a test batch. The first task is to make the inner core of the ball. Polyester resin is poured into molds designed by Ron. The trouble is, pure polyester resin is too light to affect the ball's balance. So development engineer Jason Cosby mixes the resin with powdered heavy minerals.
This bucket here weighs about 30 pounds with that little bit of material in there. The heavy minerals come in through here and are mixed with polyester resin in here with some other materials. When that mix is the right density, we move it over to the holding tank where it'll go to pour the cores.
The inner core is now the right shape and density. But for Ron's new core to work, it must now be encased in a lightweight outer layer. Like the inner core, the outer layer is also made from polyester resin, but this time they have to make it lighter. The answer is to add bubbles.
So this material right here is the lightweight glass bubbles that we use in the outer cores to allow the outer core to be less dense than the inner core. You can kind of get an idea how light this material is.
The core is attached to a pin and placed inside a spherical mold, which is filled with the lightweight resin. After 10 minutes, the resin is set. The excess is sliced off and the balls are sanded and washed until they're perfectly spherical. They're starting to look like bowling balls, but they won't be bowling a strike just yet. They don't have the right surface texture. Texture is essential to a bowling ball's success. That's because the lanes are coated in oil. This protects them, but it makes the bowling ball skid. To get the new ball to hook, it will need a special kind of coating, or a skin. Product development manager Kathy Bivens has been working on a new formula. She's made it from a special urethane, which has microscopic holes or pores, which Kathy hopes will absorb the lane oil and provide the required grip. But for it to work on the production line, the liquid coating needs to set at lightning speed. To make this happen requires a chemical reaction so extreme, the liquid heats up to over 120 degrees Celsius.
Oh, there it is. It's actually creating a very unique structure that's going to absorb the oil that's put on the lane. So because of that, you're going to see an increased performance, an increased hook.
Kathy's fast-drying formula is now applied to the outside of the new balls. The excess gloop is caught in a not-so-high-tech plastic cup. After 10 minutes, the skins are solid enough to be taken out of the mould, but are still not hard enough for the bowling lanes. So they're cured for 45 minutes at 43 degrees. The rock-hard ball is nearing completion. But will it work? Ron's keen to carry out a quick test.
So I think these are going to work.
They better.
If they don't, I think we're going to get fired, so...
All right.
If this yellow dot moves to the top of the ball, then they've hit the jackpot. Like magic, it works. And Ron knows why.
Well, what the ball's doing, that core inside of there starts out at an angle, and it's kind of spinning around, wobbling around. It doesn't like to be like that. It actually wants to be in this type of a position. So as it's going around, it'll actually begin to right itself in this position here. As this is moving around, it's steering. So you're kind of steering the ball to give you that hook.
After a final polish, Ron's new ball is finished. And it's time for one final crucial test. How will it perform on the lanes?
How you doing, Rich?
Doing good, doing good.
Got this brand new Ebonite ball, the Mission Domination. You wouldn't mind fitting Jason up. Just have you fit.
All high-quality bowling balls are bespoke, designed to fit the fingers of their owners.
Slide that thumb in there for me. All right, just relax your hand. All right.
We're gonna need the biggest thing you got there.
Biggest thing I got. All right, we're all set. Now we're gonna lay this ball out for you.
Okay.
Put some holes in it.
With holes drilled, at last the new ball is ready for the ultimate test. For the final verdict, they brought in pro bowler Jason Wojnar. Jason steps up for his first bowl.
Looks good, feels good.
Will the core shape produce the required hook?
No pressure.
Is the weight difference between the inner and outer core right? And will the new skin provide the right amount of grip?
Yeah, way to go.
That's how you can tell if it's a good one. Nothing strikes more than a new ball.
The ball is hooking, hitting the sweet spot at the perfect angle, striking time and again. With a new ball like this, even the most amateur of bowlers has a chance of striking lucky. And Ron thinks the ball is an unqualified success.
This ball is probably, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's an 11.